Senior foreign policy advisor to the Housing Committee of the Iraqi Parliament. He joins us live from Baghdad. Okay, so we see this terribly low turnout, 41%, the lowest in many years. That doesn't exactly give whomever the winners will be much of a mandate to govern, does it?
Well, it's looked like that the turnout is low, yes, but it is what the people now saying for me is that it's not 41%. It's much lower than that. It's more or less in the 20s. And IHAC tried to push the participation rate into, or the turnout into the 41%. So, and there is, I'm hearing that now there are some conflicts between UNAMI and the IHAC about the participation rate, because yesterday in 4 p.m., just before 2 hours from closing date of the electoral time, actually IHAC itself announced its 19%. The participation rate or the turnout. So you can imagine what's going to happen now, because we are talking about that this election is not really representing the Iraqis. And also, the most important thing is that the electoral law, the new electoral law, actually managed to have how we can say it is that we can now expect a majority government inside the parliament, and also we're going to see it's supposed to be an opposition inside the parliament, which is the first time in Iraq. The second thing is we will have the most fragile government that can work in Iraq, because if the opposition will be there, that means they will push hard to destroy the forming government in one way or another, and to push hard to have early elections again. So the situation is not settled until now, but we all know now, as Iraqis, we all know now Sairun, the Sadrist, has the first position, and they have more than 70 seats. And the second is actually Mohammed al-Halbousi, or the Speaker of the Iraqi Parliament bloc, which actually more than 40, 45, something like that. The most astonishing result is the Fatah, which is the blocs that more or less related to Iran, which has now there are talks that they have now less than 20. So you can imagine how much the political situation will be fragile.
Yes.
Mainly there will be a real conflict inside the Shia blocs, between the Shia blocs, and maybe in a way or another we will have much more time to establish a new parliament and to form a new government.
Okay, so tell us about the situation economically and politically of how we even got here. Iraq is a wealthy country in the region, but it has faced these intense problems.
Yeah, well, we all know that corruption in Iraq is very high, and in 18 years, there's no real economical roadmap has been made to build up Iraq. And the most surprising thing is that even with the presence of the Americans at that time, in one way or another, we didn't have any real project, any infrastructural project happen on the ground. So you can imagine how much the people are actually furious against the political blocs. And eventually, what we need now is more or less a very professional government that focused on the economical situation of Iraq, and also to push hard to have a good relations with the neighbors, especially Iran. And to have a strong relationship with Turkey, and also with the international community, and also with the Gulf countries. In one way or another, Iraq needs the help, the economical help, not only from the international community, but also from the from the Gulf countries also. So you can imagine how the new government should have a real plans about to reform the economical situation and also to stabilize the political situation, because eventually the two things are more or less connected to each other. Just as I said, we are expecting now a majority government. That means the opposition will try hard to push to new early elections, and to try hard to manage their way to stop the success of Sairun, to stop the success of Mohammed al-Halbousi, and also let us not forget also KDB, because KDB also now at least they have about 32 or 33 seats inside the whole 55 seats of the Kurdistan region. So you can imagine also they have the majority inside the Kurdish area. So eventually, let us see what's going to happen. But we are all, as Iraqis, we are not optimistic about the next step that it will happen in the few weeks.
Yeah, this government has a huge task ahead of it. Ahmed, thank you for that comprehensive look.